So let's talk about how this student can running out of his money,
Yeah.
and he really needs to manage the money of it, so he will get it better.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. So I think the first thing he should do is keeping track of his spending. If he's not paying attention to where his money is going, it's very easy to lose track and end up broke before the month is over.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like one of those situations, even if you think you're being so careful of the little things, it's so going end up so quickly. He should write down every single things of his friends on the notes, even if he just buy foods or drinks, it will give him a good picture of his spending habits.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just the big expenses like rent or tuition that cause problems. It's the daily things that sneak up on you. Once he tracks it all, he can start creating a budget which should help him divide his money into some categories.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you. Budgeting is essential. I think we could try 50, 30, and 20 rules. 50% uh, he should buy for he needs, like rents and groceries, for the example. 30% for what he wants, like maybe he wants to buy new clothes or new shoes, and 20% for savings or paying off any debts he might be have.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's a solid approach. He could also adjust those percentages depending on what he really needs each month. Maybe he doesn't have much left for savings. Maybe,
Ah,
but even setting aside like 5% could help in the long term.
that's right. Saving something is just better than nothing. He could also look for smarter ways to shopping, right?
Yeah,
Smarter ways to shop. Instead of buying everything from convenience stores, he could shop at markets or find discount online. Buying in bulk for things he regularly use could save money over time. For the example, he could buy in even 10.10 in Shopee.
yeah, right. And even things like meal prepping would help.
Mhm.
If he makes meals ahead of time,
Mm.
he won't be tempted to eat out as much, which can prove expensive.
Oh, that's great idea. Meal prepping will save both uh, time and money. Plus, eating out usually is not healthy. Speaking of unhealthy habits, he should definitely avoid spending on things like cigarettes or junk foods.
Yeah.
Those things just drain his wallet and don't provide any real benefit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a waste, really. And I guess if he has any subscriptions he doesn't use, like streaming services, for example, if he doesn't like watching movies, like he shouldn't like subscribe to Netflix for one. He could cancel them to save a bit more. Sometimes we don't even realize how much we're paying for stuff that we don't need.
Yeah, I agree with you. One last thing, he should consider setting up a financial cushion for emergencies. It doesn't have to be a big, but having a small savings, uh, saving a small savings, it's like we need to savings for the unexpected moments.
Yeah,
Like if his laptop breaks or he needs to travel to
yeah,
the city, he will get some peace of mind.
yeah, totally agree. Even if he just puts aside a little bit each month, it'll add up. In his case, I think the most critical steps would be tracking his expenses and sticking to the budget he has. If he can get a handle on those two things, he won't feel so squeezed by the end of the month.
Absolutely. And if we can build better habits for now, it will help him in the future too.
Yeah.
Once he get used to managing his money, he will be in much better control of his finances, right?
Yeah.
That's a good for him in the future.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
So yeah, at first it feels like a hassle to track every expense, but after a few weeks, it just becomes second nature. And honestly, seeing where your money actually goes can be really eye-opening. Like I didn't realize how much I was spending on coffee every week until I started tracking it.
Ah, I felt that too. I'm always grabbing coffee or eating out, and it adds up without me even noticing. So, you literally track everything.
Yeah, exactly. And once I have a good handle on my spending habits, I set up a budget that works for me. It's not too strict, but it's enough to make me think twice before spending money. I also like to leave a little room for fun stuff so I don't feel depressed. But I think the key is to be realistic. If the budget is too tight or maybe too high, you're just going to end up breaking it. Yeah.
That's true. I always feel like I need to sacrifice everything to save, but then it's impossible. So, how do you balance saving and still enjoying things?
It's all about prioritizing. For example, I love going out with friends, but instead of doing it every weekend, I limit it to once or twice a month. The rest of the time, I try to find cheaper or free activities, like hosting movie nights at home or going for hikes. Or if I want to talk with my friends, I can use like Zoom, a free way. Yeah. That way, I still have fun, but I'm also saving money.
That's a really a brilliant. I I tend to spur a lot on social events. I never thought about finding cheaper alternative. What else do you do?
Another thing that really helps is meal prepping, of course. I used to eat out or order takeout a lot, especially when I was too busy or tired to cook. Yeah. Now I set aside a day, and usually Sunday, to prep meals for the week. It saves me time during busy weekdays, and it's way cheaper than eating out all of the time. Plus, I get to control what goes into my food. So, yeah, it's healthier.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I should try. I've noticed how much I spend on food's daily grace, like GoFood, Shopee Food, Grab Food.
yeah,
That's really not good for saving the money, right?
yeah.
So, what about impulse spending? Do you ever just buy things you don't really need?
For sure. But I've learned to control it by implementing a 48-hour rule. If I see something I really want, especially online, like on Tokped or Shopee, I wait for 48 hours before buying it. Most of the time, by the end of 2 days, I either realize I don't actually really need it, or I've completely forgotten about it.
Ah, I love that. I love it. I love your what you think about that. I've definitely been a guilty for late night for impulse of shopping because I saw good things on Shopee night and it's so good
Yeah,
and and I just check out the thing and yeah now I feel guilty about that.
yeah,
It's me. It's from a lot of unnecessary purchases, right?
yeah. It works wonders. Another trick I use is being mindful handful of subscriptions. You know how we sign up for all these streaming services, or maybe gym memberships. Well, I don't go to the gym. No, I can't. Or apps that seem small at first, but start adding up.
Yeah.
I go through my subscriptions every few months and cancel anything I'm not using. Like Netflix. I don't really watch movies, so yeah, I don't really need Netflix. Those tiny fees sneak up on you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have been meaning to cancel a couple of things that I don't even use it anymore. Like, I cancel about Spotify subscription because I don't really need it. I'm kind of person that like to hear music, so yeah, I cancel about that.
Yeah, exactly. The last thing that I try to do is always keep an emergency fund. I make sure that even when times are tight, I'm putting a little bit aside, just in case something unexpected comes up. You never know when you might need some extra cash for things like car repairs or maybe medical bills. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've heard about emergency funds, but I always feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck and don't have enough to save.
Yeah.
How do you manage to save even when money's tight?
So I totally get that. And trust me, it's tough sometimes. But
Wow.
the key is to start small. Even if you're only putting away like maybe around 200,000 or 300,000 rupees a month, it's better than nothing. Over time, it adds up. And having that little cushion
Yeah.
gives you peace of mind. Plus, when you see your savings now, it motivates you to keep on going.
That makes sense. That's so good idea. I think I'm going to start trying that. Be better for me to save a little than not save at all, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
we need to plan about the future. We don't know about something happen to me in the future, right?
Yes, exactly. Correct. Saving money is all about forming habits and being consistent. Once you get into the groove of tracking expenses, cutting back where you can, and prioritizing savings, it becomes much easier. It's not about making huge sacrifices, just small changes that add up over time. Ah, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.